The street was silent, as if the world had stopped breathing for a moment. Jude walked away from Mary's parents' house, his steps heavy on the wet sidewalk. The warm light of the living room lingered behind him for a moment, a beacon of hope, and at the same time a painful reminder of everything he had almost let go of. He looked back once. Mary was still standing by the window, small and vulnerable in the lamplight. He saw the sadness in her posture, the silent hope in her eyes, but he could say nothing. He turned around and continued on his way down the dark street. Her father's words echoed in his head. No one can serve two masters. He knew he had done it wrong. For too long he had tried to hold on to both worlds, the street and his family. But tonight it felt different, as if something inside him had shifted, as if he had finally admitted what he already knew deep down. Suddenly, his phone vibrated in his jacket pocket. The screen showed Sophia. His frown deepened. He hadn't spoken to her in a while. He picked up. "Jude?" Her voice sounded tense, almost whispering. "Yes?" A brief silence fell, thick and heavy in the air. "You must come to me," she said softly, but with an urgency that left no room for doubt. Now. His heart was beating wildly. "Why?" he asked, his voice sharp with concern. On the other end of the line, he heard her short, strained breathing. "Maybe I know something," she said finally, "about Sammie." That was enough. His legs moved almost by themselves. In no time at all, he was standing in Sophia's living room. The house was dim. The soft light of a single candle cast dancing shadows against the walls. Sophia stood by the window, her arms wrapped tightly around herself, a shadow of vulnerability. "What do you know?" asked Jude, his voice steady but soft, as if he were trying to control the hope within himself. Sophia looked at the floor, her fingers fidgeting nervously. My son," she began, her voice breaking. Jude was silent, sharply focused on her words. "The judge has ruled that I am not allowed to see him," she continued, trembling. "My lifestyle, everything I have done. Maybe I can't be a good mother, a normal mother, a real mother." He saw the pain, the guilt, the doubt in her eyes. Slowly, he stepped closer and gently placed a hand on her shoulder. "The fact that you say that," he said softly, "means that your heart is still there, that you are trying. Where your heart is, there is your treasure." Sophia looked at him, her eyes glistening with tears. For the first time, a small sign of relief broke through her tension. "You understand," she whispered. Jude wanted to answer something, but his gaze fell on something on the table, a small red object. His heart skipped a beat. He bent down and picked it up. "The little red teddy bear, once won at a fair for Sammie, lay safe in his hand." She had taken it everywhere with her, pressed tightly against herself whenever she was afraid or sad. It was a symbol of her childlike trust, a piece of her that he could hold on to for just a little while longer. He looked up at Sophia, his voice trembling with tension. "What do you know?" She lowered her eyes. Her words came slowly, almost too softly to hear. "They took her away." Jude's heart pounded in his chest. "Who?" he asked, but before Sophia could answer, he had already turned around. "Sammie!" Behind him, Sophia appeared in the doorway. "Jude!" she cried, fear in her voice, but he didn't stop. Her words followed him through the night. "They took her away." He clutched the little red bear tightly against himself. It felt like an anchor, a piece of Sammie pulling him through the fear and panic. He ran without knowing where to, without knowing how fast to go, but with one determined thought: he would find her. The rain mingled with his sweat and tears. Every step, every breath, every heartbeat brought him closer to her and further away from everything he had ever known. Deep down, Jude knew it. Tonight, the real hunt began.